But we are here with Division 3 NLC playoffs today. We are bringing you Invul Lotus versus Espergærde main. Two teams, both who won their respective groups. So we should be in for a pretty interesting matchup. As always, I'm Enix, and I'm joined by my boy Eris. How is it going this afternoon, my friend? Yeah, yeah. Apparently, chat can't hear you. Have you left yourself muted? Alright, guys, we're just investigating this issue. Eris is basically saying it's too hot. He's gonna cry live on camera if Lofty gives us another 65-minute banger. But he's not got his camera on today, so you can't actually see him cry. So it's fine. I guess that makes it fine, right? That's how it works. But hold.
Hi, chat. I'm working now.
Can you hear him now?
You can hear me.
Is he working?
I don't know what's wrong with my OBS right now. It says my mic's been disconnected, but it's plugged in the whole time. But yeah, it's a good way to start today. It's Invul marathon.
Of course, yeah, because we have potentially 6 games to bring you all today on the stream. Starting off today, obviously, with Invul Lotus versus Espergærde main. Before this evening, we will be watching the other Invul main roster versus someone. We don't know yet. That I believe that match is happening right now to decide who they will be playing this evening. But let's not think about the games later on. Let's have a bit of a closer look at this matchup. Both of these teams enjoyed a lot of success in the regular season. Invul ending 10-2 in Div 3.2. ESP ending at 11-3 in their division. Their group having one more team, hence the extra games played.
Yeah, fun, stats, numbers, gaming, keywords. Get me through.
I'm assuming the extra 2 games played won't really have any impact on this series. Like it's not like they'll have used those 2 extra games to practice strats that they'll be able to pull out in this. And
yeah, I think like let me have a look myself because like I'd have to know who the 2 extra games were against.
They were against Exile, and I believe Exile did not have a very good split. We'll just say that Exile didn't have a very good split, and we don't need to go into any more detail than that.
So basically they had a bottom feeder team. No offense, but bottom feeder team. Actually wait, no, they won one series. I wonder who they won the series against.
2 games. They didn't necessarily win a series, but ESP 2-0'd them. So we'll say that that's the extra 2 games.
Yeah. So they
we'll say that that's the 2 extra games, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Like you look at like both of the divisions like against each other, and both divisions had very similar. We just remove Exile out of the group. Actually, no. You'd actually probably want to remove one of the middle teams, maybe Blue Whites or Lunkus Darkside or S5, maybe. Because then both the divisions are literally almost the same. I think Lotus definitely got the easiest of the group because you can see the Viperio, Flong, and Visu just did not do anything really. Viperio did a lot ish. They drew 5 series, lost 1.
Flong. They took a game off of Lotus.
Yeah, they took a game off Lotus because cringe happens. And also like Flong, they drew 4 and lost 2, and then Visu drew 2 and lost 1. I'm not flaming. It's just like
have you got the draft link, by the way? Because we are into draft.
Yeah, I do. I'm just choosing not to view it because I like to be surprised in the client.
I am gonna be viewing the draft.
I'll let
as,
you.
as is.
I'll let you view it, but I haven't got the graphics set up
No,
for
that is fine as things happen.
because Twitch chat. If you did know, every browser that I use right now for OBS doesn't work. As you could tell, on my microphone as well, OBS doesn't like me right now, but it's better than Streamlabs. And I'll go on record to say that. But yeah, back to just psychoanalyzing two divisions, cross comparatively. Big words right there. Really not saying much, but basically, Lotus didn't lose a series, but they lost 2 games, so they went 10-2. And Espergærde went 11-3. We removed less. They won 2 games against who we say Exile. Okay, cool. So they went 9-3. So they're like 1 game less either side.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But like if you actually don't take the Exile 2 wins, you take off just 1 win either side, like a draw. So they went 5-0-1. So that you take away their draw, then it's 10-2 versus 10-2. Just one team didn't lose a series, one team lost 1 series but won 5.
That's fair.
It's like kind of they're evenly matched up, but one team had a definitely easier division, you could say, versus another team that didn't have it, that had like a bit of a harder division and had K5 in there as well. Also a Vishu Snow roster that actually looks to do pretty well. Blue Whites, they like the 7-7 3-way tie in the middle is very funny. But like you look at it and it's like, okay, kind of a little bit harder, just a little bit, but they seem like they didn't get faced against it. And then obviously Lotus, and then Lotus, if we win today or they win, or the winner of the series will go on to face either Verdant or it was Chaos, right?
Yeah, Verdant or Chaos. That series is also currently in progress over on the Verdant Twitch. If you want to watch both series simultaneously, that is very much encouraged, I think, to keep up with all of the action. So we talked about comparing both of these teams based off of raw like numbers and how they did within their groups. There is actually, and he is in chat right now, TIVRSG coming in with the stats on Twitter this morning. So if we look at ESP main and Invul Lotus, ESP has one of the highest objective scores with 71% of first towers, 76% of dragons, and 82% of barons taken by them in their games. Which is kind of ridiculous. Right? Like, they're taking the first tower 71% of the time, and then over a quarter of all of the dragons are theirs. And over 80% of all barons in their games are theirs. Which is just ridiculous. In terms of, like, from an objective control standpoint.
Yeah, and I mean, like we said, Invul Lotus, a bit of a, maybe an easier group. Maybe they decided, hey, we don't want to do this. And to be fair, in pro play, maybe it's not, is it pro play or is it... I've seen it in pro play recently where teams are kind of forgiving the early objectives. They're looking for the early herald. They're looking for the early push momentum plays, rather than saying, hey, let's just take this Drake. Unless it's completely free and there's nothing to do, they'll just take it. But a lot of teams I'm seeing in the LPL, LCK, it's up and down because they're for some reason they're fighting weirdly right now. LCK is a weird one to look at. But like you look at it and it's like, okay, the dominant team, they'll kind of just push their pace. And I mean, even in solo queue, like what Bo has done to the server, if anyone has seen his VODs in the jungle, he's clearly shown that you don't need to take any objective early. You just need to play like a psychopath and you'll do well.
Speaking of Bo, and I don't think we'll see any of this today because I'm not really that sure that Kane is particularly strong and competitive at the moment. Have you seen what that psychopath has been doing on Kane?
Have you seen what he's been doing on Samira? Have you seen what he's been doing in general? He's done a lot of things, which is incredible. But no, Kane I've seen twice this season, by the way. Picked in the LGL. And it's picked by Flawless on Burning Core, and it's not gone well. Happens, innit? But yeah, as we are waiting for the draft in client to happen.
The draft is over. We will be getting the client draft started very, very shortly.
But one thing I want to point out is our jungler Slice. Now, I've seen Slice can't lose. Let's go Daddy Slice. Completely necessary, completely beautiful words. Because he has been, in my opinion, the standout of the team. Like, in a team where everyone performs, and it's been a very good season as we get into client draft. But in a place where, like, every team, all the members perform, but, like, you look at Lofty, one game he'll pop off, and another game he'll just sit back and it won't go well for him. But you see Slice is always there to pick up the pieces. As we're seeing the Draven, the Twitch ban, all directed at our Psychopath in the bot lane. Also a Yuumi ban, which I think is a good ban. I think
I don't hate the Yuumi ban at all.
I think Twitch is a good ban in this situation because Lana is a Psychopath, and I believe players will just pick in their orders. And
they're all locking their own champions.
Okay, Poppy is broken as hell, but Slice on Viego is Monka W. As I see the Yone, the Akali, and the Nautilus bans. I do like the Nautilus ban, actually. It's a good engage tool, and it would be good setup for anything they really want to go for. But Azir, Ahri mid lane, I'm not really sure. I think Poppy very much stops these three champions, in a way. When Shyvana, I believe she does stop Shyvana's leap when Shyvana transforms.
Yes, it's a. Does she become? If she becomes unstoppable, maybe not. I'm not sure.
I don't believe she becomes unstoppable. Someone in Twitch chat will have to just check for me, but I don't believe she does. But I know she stops Viego. She stops Azir. I don't believe she stops a Viego ult though. I would have to double check that.
No, Heartbreaker is unstoppable.
Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, like obviously she will stop the Viego engage. But I did see one of the most cleanest Viego W out of ease earlier the other day. It was T1's jungler owner, legit. Like obviously the player he was going against was like one tap. You just had to kill him. But it was so nice to look at. He came around the corner of the E, obviously blinded, but just immediately flash W'd in like a split second, so no reaction could come out. I'm not expecting Slice to do that because Owner is jacked, but Slice could do that. And those kind of plays are pretty nice to look at. Also, like, Viego has this play style of being quite aggressive, but can also play slow. Azir can just poke, play slow. Shyvana, you're just chilling top lane. It's mainly, I think this Invul comp, now I'm looking at it, you don't really want to push the pace early, but you want to look for proactive plays early. Because I think the later it goes on, Lulu Jinx will just start hard carrying, and then you're looking for like a big wombo play where you knock them out of the park, you send it home, or you send them home. As by looking at the bans, was the MF picked in the second round?
The MF was R4, so yeah.
Ooh. Now, MF Renata is an interesting bot lane. The wombo combo of the ult's really nice, but it's a peculiar one. It's like a lot of these ults don't set up for MF too well. Like MF likes an Amumu ult, a Leona ult, a Nautilus in a way, like a sit down, you stop moving.
Yeah.
But an MF ult over the top, maybe an Azir wall, pretty nice, but it can be anti-synergy. You can knock it out. It's the same with the Renata ult into the Azir. Like there's anti-synergy, but there's also
there's synergy and anti-synergy.
There's this anti-synergy, but there's also possibilities for an insane play, which is like the Renata ult is kind of like going off towards one, and Lofty sweeps everyone back in. Like they're trying to get out, Lofty says no, you go back in there. Whereas on the other side of Espergærde, I've seen the Kennen. I've not really seen much of Kennen these days. I think he's pretty good. I believe Summit solo killed in the LPL recently on Kennen a few times. But Poppy, broken jungler, insane jungler.
I feel like I saw Kennen in LEC yesterday, but I don't know why. Maybe I'm just misremembering completely.
Was it the... No, it wasn't the Yasuo Darius game. Of course it wasn't. It was Darius. But yeah. Ahri, very stable mid laner these days. She can be pretty good into MF. MF being a very immobile ADC, and Ahri just being very mobile. Jinx, Lulu, you're not looking for 2v2 kills, but if you get them, you're nice. Later on, you can just 1v8 on this, 1v9-ish. Just let Jinx just go crazy. But the Jinx will need to play careful. Whether Shyvana or Nazir, they're kind of going for her. At the same time, it's a very weird way to get the Jinx. If the Kennen or the Ahri have good position, Azir, Viego, Shyvana should never be able to get to her. If they don't, they all will die.
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good summary of how these comps and how the fights are going to play out. As we have a few more seconds before we do get into the first game of this series, is there any particular matchup, not necessarily just in this game in isolation, but is there any matchup in this series that you are finding particularly interesting?
I'm looking at the jungle matchup. I think this game is won and lost by how these two junglers play. I'm not sure how Johnny Recco has done in his league.
Well, I have some stats on that for you in a second.
I'll let you pull up your stats in a second, but like I said earlier, Slice has been the man for this team. Obviously, the rest of the team themselves have played very well, but when one of them is kind of out of it, Slice is there, picks up the pieces. When they're all playing well, Slice is the one there setting up the plays. It's all kind of played through Slice, and without him, I don't think it ticks as well.
So Slice is definitely the facilitator for this Invul Lotus
He's
roster.
a facilitator and the carry.
That feeds quite well into the little statistical update I've got for you. So Slice has the second highest kills plus assists at 14 minutes in the division. Slice averaging 4.3 kills and assists at 14 minutes. Really active jungler in the early game, so I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on what he is getting done. Whereas if you look at Johnny Recco on the other side, he has the second highest KDA in the division of all players.
So he has the second highest KDA, but Slice has the second highest kills and KAs at 14 minutes.
Yep.
Now, so is Johnny Recco a KDA player?
Well, that is the question. Evidence would likely say not.
I would like. It sounds flame to ask that. They probably just dominated the division, as my stream has done the black screen thing. So I'll have to just give you a moment, Luke. Oh, we're back.
No,
we are back.
Okay. Do you want to rewind to like 5 seconds, and we'll
50.
go at the same time?
Let's go 15 seconds.
Okay.
Let me set everything up for my beautiful, wonderful viewers. Let's say 3, 2, 1. Let's get this game underway.
Let's go, everybody. We are underway. Game 1 of the series. Invul Lotus versus Espergærde main. And are we expecting any early shenanigans?
No.
From these two teams?
I mean, I'm actually looking at Espergærde. I'm seeing a little bit.
Oh, Loftition. Moving into the river. I meant to say Luna. Don't know why I said Loftition, but no, Slice is the one that's going to get charmed up. He is going to fall here. Who are they going to donate the kill to? It's going to go over to Thomas Go.
Ooh.
The Ahri claiming the early first blood.
That's one of those. You're kind of waiting to see the early ward. It's actually pretty smart from Espergærde to say, okay, this guy is probably going to come and just look at this. As Johnny Recco is trying to recall and is going to get it stopped. Which means you probably only have time to switch back to a sweeper. And you'll just have to walk down to red buff. But it's good early aggression. A good early, like, insightful play from Espergærde. But also on the boss side, you can see a quite deep ward. I think it did get cleared. I know that it shouldn't have been cleared. A deep ward near the Krugs of...
Yeah, there's no CS on anyone, so that ward has not been cleared. Is a ward on the Invul Lotus red buff, though. So Espergærde are aware where Slice is starting.
I believe Slice knows about this. They saw them walk in. Of course it's going to get warded after you die. Double wards in the river. But the ward on the Krugs is pretty good because it can time Johnny Recco and see, okay, where is he going to go? What's he going to do?
They will now be aware he's probably clearing up towards the top lane, having not seen him on that Krugs ward.
This is one thing I was going to say. There was an interesting path from, I believe it was Contracts last night in the LCS, while I was watching it at 2 AM. he knew they had a ward on the red buff, so he went red buff to Raptors and then wrapped around to Krog's ganked bot and caught him completely unaware. Now, Johnny Recco is not going to do that. He's actually going to do the opposite. But you see the ping came down onto the wolves, but they've got the timing a bit off maybe because he's just going to go straight to the blue buff.
Yeah, skipping over those wolves completely. We are not really seeing any early leads developing anywhere other than the top lane, where Ronaldo seems to be getting bullied and pushed in quite heavily. The CS gap going to close up here to about 4.
You kind of expect that in this matchup. It's a range versus melee. Shyvana doesn't care. She's just chilling. She's waiting for a level 6. As soon as she gets level 6, she's going to shove out the wave. But they are trying to look like they're maybe going to set up a dive. Johnny Recco on his way. And I think Ronaldo probably should assume this is coming.
Yeah. You would imagine he would understand that this is the most logical place for Poppy to be at this time. A little bit of trading back and forth in the mid lane. Thomas Go picking up the extra couple of potions and a Dark Seal with that first blood money.
Yeah, Dark Seal always a good pickup. If you get a kill early, you get more AP, and it's a snowbally item. And if you start to snowball with a Dark Seal, it's always good. But you can see they haven't gone for the dive yet. Johnny Recco was gonna went for the Krogs, but actually Thomas goes on his way up here now, and it's gonna be a 3-man, and a TP's gonna come out from Lofty.
Yeah, early teleport coming through from Loftition completely dissuades the dive, keeping his top laner alive, whilst Slice feasts on Johnny Recco's Krogs.
I think this is a completely fine TP. Obviously with the TP changes this season, the Chillionaire is getting poked out.
The Invul that actually look for a dive here with Slice wrapped around behind the tower.
They have to get this done quick, because they don't know where Johnny Recco is. If they're gonna go for it, they have to go for it now. Johnny Recco is not gonna come. We know this, but they don't know this.
No, we can see all. We know all. But what are Invul and what is Slice gonna do? They are gonna go forward, diving forward now onto Kralix. Pesty attack is popped.
If they can get them to recall, they could not even kill them. Just force them out and force them to recall. They miss an entire wave.
And that's what it looks like is going to happen here. This is going to be a lot of damage onto this bot lane outer tower.
Oh, that's a big wave.
And yeah, a massive, massive wave lost here by the Jinx.
And all that that's a cross-map trade that's very good for Invul. Okay, so in a sense, they expend 1 TP for an entire wave lost bot, and I think 1 plate they grab bot. I think overall,
I think that's more than 1 wave. Honestly, lost to the tower. I think that's probably.
I think a second,
2, maybe 2.5.
I think they should. Oh, they're actually going to lose a second plate, and then Invul's not going to collect it. Unfortunate. But yeah, I mean that's a good play. It's a good reply to what was going on the top side. An early play as well. Not grabbing a kill can be a bit like hyphy, but like. It's about like, okay, do I want to force my health bar and have to recall, or do I just want to force them off this, give them that false hope of where they're in their head, or maybe I can get this, maybe I can't, and they don't get it.
Yeah. I am wondering if we are going to see some shenanigans in the next 2 minutes as both of these teams look to prepare for the Rift Herald. You mentioned it yourself as we were discussing the build-up for this first game, how a lot of teams at the moment tend to ignore the early Drakes, and that is going to be due to how much tankier dragons are now.
But it's also dragons are worth a lot more, and it's like you kind of don't want to flip it on an early dragon. Most bot lanes these days are looking to scale. Like a lot of enchanters are getting picked. Enchanters can be good early, like Lux, but like after like
Slice is coming back.
After probably level 4, they lose a bit of their power because they don't have the items. Then you're waiting for them to get their ults and get their other things to then make them even stronger.
Yeah, no, I can definitely support that. CS leads at the moment looking to be a little bit in the favor of Espergærde, but Johnny Recco.
Lonar playing the Lonar game of I'm going to stand here and kill this ward and you can't do anything about it.
I think if the Viego mist had not been there, Lonar would have been dead.
Yeah, but that's Lonar. That's what this man does. Even if the Viego mist wasn't there, he would have gone for that ward, I think.
Oh no, 100%. But he would have died for the ward if the Viego mist hadn't been
Nah,
there.
he would have killed. He would have killed them all.
Speaking of the Viego, though, Slice pinging onto the dragon.
He is going for it. He's going for that early dragon. Viego can get these early, actually go for the early dragons, no matter how tanky they are now. Also, Loftician getting that roam timer down. That would mean, okay, Espergærde, we're gonna look top again. We're gonna go after Ronaldo. The lane.
And he doesn't have the dragon form. Gonna be backing off to the tower now. Slicing Maelstrom does come through, but the burnout movement speed, no. Charge comes through. The shield bash is thrown, and Johnny Recco picks up another kill for Espergærde. Invul, though, locked down the Hextech Drake. Starting that stacking. Rift Herald not yet on the Rift. Not that Ronaldo has teleport to rejoin the fight.
It's unfortunate, but it's a fine sacrifice, I think, for Ronaldo. He was actually getting the Fatala. That's not his actual name, right? I forgot his name, but Fatala I'm going to call him because this is IGN right now. The whole like he's getting shrunk down a lot by Ronaldo, so it was he did call for support. I think Johnny Recco spotted that, and you can see, look, Johnny Recco going straight for this Herald, got the momentum top, and Invul they can't contest. They're behind the play.
No. They're aware they can't contest. They're not going to overforce. They'll take the time. They'll scale up. They will take the 9 ability haste and 9% attack speed from their Hextech Drake, and see that as a small win in this early game for themselves, at least, even though they aren't getting too much more. Turret plates, as we come up to the 9-minute mark, currently favouring Invul, as the only 2 to have fallen have both been on the Espergærde bot lane outer tower. Although CS leads across the map, other than at the ADCs, favouring Espergærde.
I have spotted something in Lonar's inventory that I actually very much like. Is
that Dark Seal?
Yes, this is the Dark Seal. Now, obviously, MF with her AP scalings is always going to enjoy a bit of AP. As we saw the Leandri's build that came out I'd say a month ago now, where it started popping up here and there. There's like it was okay in certain spots, but I mean, there's like 4 different mythics you can go on MF right now, and picking up a Dark Seal, I was considering this as well with Twitch ADC. If you go for the full AD build, I'm curious to see if Dark Seal is actually okay on that as like a kind of like just a plug-in item that you just have just for if you snowball, because Twitch also has AP scaling. He doesn't have crit scaling, which he doesn't really care about. And it's the same with
this Jinx is not having a fun time in the bot lane.
This is what Comet MF does, and just they're playing this lane so well. Johnny Recco can't find an angle to come in here, so that's why he had to gank top. And I mean, Invul, they're just chilling.
Thomas Go getting very heavily poked out in the mid lane as well. Really, Loftician really trying to farm up his first strike gold.
Yeah, it's just there's gonna be another plate gonna drop bot lane.
Yeah, but we could see a play here. Thomas Go is down. Johnny Recco is in the area. Loftician's trying to look for a potential counter, but can Lunar and Marcusa get themselves safe? The handshake connects.
Oh, Marcusa, man.
Thrown into Johnny Recco, and Lunar and Marcusa take the plate and walk away scot-free.
Now, the thing is with that play, right? Chillionaire will have to recall no matter what. He will die no matter what if that goes forward. So they're just trying to push them away. But Marcusa's just holding the ult. Like, I've seen players where they just drop the ult there to dissuade, but he knows they're not going to engage. And if they do, they're inting. Because Poppy engage onto a Renata ult is horrific for his team. Because that is like the anti-Poppy tech. Poppy ganks by just running straight at you. Yeah. And if she has flash, okay, cool. If she doesn't, she's going to struggle. And Renata loves people that just run straight at her and she can time it right. It was a good look for Espergærde just to get the pressure off bot lane. They're going to drop this Herald mid. Probably just get the place. I don't believe they'll get the tower. But they're looking for something on this second Drake in about 57 seconds.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe that this will result in a tower. 2 plates is the standard price to pay for losing a Rift Herald. But this will get some pressure, some momentum, potentially an avenue to get some recalls in for the side of Espergærde to prepare themselves for this Infernal Drake coming up in 35 seconds.
But then now you have to equate, what did you lose for that Herald? What did you gain for that Herald? What did you lose to get that Herald if you're Espergærde?
Let's go choosing not to base here.
He's trying to base. He's getting poked out.
Oh, and we've seen the top laners fighting. Ronaldo diving on to Fatala with the Dragon's Descent.
This is the typical Shyvana. Ults just to get the wave going, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
But I'm going back to the point that I was trying to make. Is about this Herald. Okay, so what you lost to get the Herald. Okay, what did you gain when you got that to get the Herald? You got a gank and a kill on top side. You got the Herald, but you lost Drake. You lost 2 plates, but you lost the 3rd, but Invul didn't claim it on the bot wave. And then you also gained 2 plates. And your ADC is suffering in this bot lane right now.
What I'm hearing is it works out about even.
Yeah, it works out about even for Invul, and it's not a good Herald, in my opinion. If you're getting the Herald, you want to get more of a lead. Because you do have to expend a bit to get that. And also the Drake counts to that Herald, because you use the Herald mid to get pressure to get vision for the Drake.
We could see a very big
Everyone is coming down.
Everyone is moving down. Fatala has the Slicing Maelstrom available. Dragon's Descent, though, not here for Ronaldo. What are we going to see? It looks like Invul giving up this dragon.
I think they just have to. They don't have position.
Going to look for an angle with some exit kills? No. Just going to give over the Infernal Drake.
Okay, so, I mean, now you got the pressure mid. That Herald is not worth it because you got the second Drake.
Yep.
So that's why I was trying to lead into the point of they have to fight for this Drake to make that Herald worth it. And it means that it gets them up to a bit of a 1k. It gets
a little bit caught out here.
I think Johnny Recco's caught out. Yeah, Johnny Recco has the flash.
Yeah.
It's not Slice caught out, my friend. His buddies are right there. But I think Ronaldo has to come down earlier and have the dragon or the transformation ready to go for that fight to work out. Because that flank was very nice. I don't believe they recognize that he was.
If he had the Dragon's Descent, that would be the perfect flank to push all of Espergærde into the hostile takeover and set Marcusa up to succeed. Then with the bullet time, then with the Azir soldiers, it would be ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it creates a three-pronged attack in a sense of that. Ronaldo goes in with the Dragon's Ascent, pushes or chunks out someone, pushes them a certain path. Marcusa then throws in the hostile takeover. Okay, maybe they can get out of it, but then you got Loftician coming in, like I was saying earlier, and he would shove everyone back into the hostile takeover. Lana then just has to wait and then fire his guns. It's literally the freest fight of your life. It's a very good combo and pretty easy one to pull off, but you just have to get the timing down.
Second herald being started up by Espergærde.
And I mean, chilling there spot.
Are they going to get here on time? Slice trying to sneak in, doesn't quite manage to secure. Here comes the Dragon's Ascent though. Johnny Recco, and now the Loftician teleport comes through. The hammer's being swung, the helicopter's wound up, but it's not going to be enough to save Johnny Recco's life. Slice claiming that one, Invul on the board. But it's just going to be a 1-for-0. Jinx being left alone here in the bot lane. And their Rift Herald going over to Espergærde.
It's also going to be free time in the bot lane for Chillinair to get more gold, funnel himself. And Loftician had to leave and TP. So now it's what can Invul reply.
By the charm, Everfrost is going to get cleansed.
But we're still waiting for the first bullet time or the first hostile takeover of this game.
Yeah, I mean, not many champions actually so far using their ultimates this game. Happens, I guess. We might see a turret here, though, picked up for Invul. Loftician and Slice trying to hammer this one down.
They
have
will
a big
get
wave
this.
with them.
They will
It's
get
going to be first turret of the game over to Invul, and that's going to close the gold lead up completely.
But then they do concede mid turret tier 1, and if Ronaldo can push this bot lane in and get that tier 1 boss side, then it should be a fine trade. I consider tier 1 mid to be the most valuable turret in the game because it will open up and also enclose your map. Now
I completely agree.
And now Invul, they have to play a little bit safer on the mid side. If they get the 2 side lane hours in, then it's kind of an even trade in my opinion. You've got 2 outside, so the outside angles are a bit more open in your favor. But you need to you now need to get tier 1 mid down as well to even this trade, handshake this trade up.
Yeah.
And without Herald, it's going to be a bit harder.
Yeah, without Herald, sieging those turrets does become a little bit of a problem. Only a 200 gold lead, though, so far in the favor of Espergærde. we are still scaling up. I don't know. It feels like this game has been pretty tempered, pretty measured on both sides so far.
Both teams kind of just playing the scaling game, and Invul, they've evened it up, to be fair. They were 1k down, I think, getting that first turret, and then the kill kind of evened it up. They did lose a mid-turret tier 1, but that hasn't changed the goal lead. The goal lead has stayed even. So this game is a very even state. So we're just waiting. I'm waiting for that next objective, which is going to be the Ocean Drake in 40 seconds. Thomas Go is now topside, but he does have TP. No TPs on the side of...
on another turret, oh my god.
No TPs on the side of Invul. As fuck...
Oh,
lofty BM.
Lunar collects that one, make it rain, and indeed it has all of the gold.
That's Drake.
To the Misfortune's pockets. Yeah, it could well be positioning on the Dragon. Ronaldo burning the Dragon's Descent again, I would say quite early. Although if he can force Fatala out here, it could potentially be very
the
big.
Drake should be theirs, completely. You see Johnny Recco's coming in, he's going to drop this Herald top, and they're going to try forcing Summit top. Lotus is not going to have TP for the Drake, but he just has to defend. The Drake's free, because you found the pick mid. Also,
and you had vision on Poppy in the top lane.
Also, Loftian just emoting before he even ulted. I love it. And yeah, they get the turret bot. Turret falls down top. They get the Drake. Oh.
I don't know why that Super Mega Death Rocket made me nervous when it collided with the tower.
When
the tower
Lofty.
It had 3k health. The Lofty charmed up, stunned up, knocked up.
Stop watching Joya!
To buy himself some time, and he will survive.
Can someone?
Ronaldo
Can someone
with the teleport?
Can someone grab the Valdez clip of him? Kralex?
Oh, Kralex!
Wait a minute.
I know you wanted to have a pool party, but now is not the right
time.
Oh,
Johnny Recco,
Johnny
no!
Recco could be in trouble here as well. Ronaldo's going to pick that one up.
It's all falling apart.
Spirit Rush is going to come down, though, and the Ahri should be able to get herself off to safety.
Enix and Eris, this game is very quiet. Lotus, wait a second, boys.
I have no idea what that sequence was.
I mean, I get why Kralex is there. That's why I don't get why Marcusa and Slice are there. I don't believe there was a ward that spotted Kralex being there.
Slice was just running up the river to try and join the fight.
But it's one of those where it's very weird of like, why is he there? Like, not Kralex, but Slice. Like, the way he's going, you think he's just recall, they don't carry on the play, and then he's like, oh no, we got a pick, and then Kralex is there like, oh, wait a second, what? It's just unluck for Kralex. But yeah, Invul grabbed themselves an almost 2k goal, 1.5k goal lead now. And just a series of unfortunate events for Espergærde.
Yeah, a couple of unfortunate plays, as you mentioned. Invul earlier before that sequence, or during that sequence, grabbing an Ocean Drake. Thomas Go could be in trouble though, but he does have Johnny Recco in the background. Burnout coming through from the Dragon's Descent of Ronaldo, but again, he is charmed up, locked up, knocked up. And he's trying to just run away.
He can't get away with that!
Dragon form Shyvana, ladies and gentlemen. Slicing Maelstrom popped onto Slice on the top side, but there's the Heartbreaker. Can he chase away the Kennen?
Yes, Flash.
Oh, Flash traded. Slice still wants to look for this. Does have Loftian and Marcusa in the area.
That flash was perfect. But yeah, I mean, Ronaldo going for an aggressive play, not going well, and he somehow just walks away. That's Shyvana right now.
I don't even think you can call it not going well, because he is really, like, traded pretty evenly there. He's lost about half of his HP for half of Musco's HP.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it went well, but it was like very weird. Where the fact that like he shouldn't be allowed to do that, but because of Shyvana's tankiness right now, and the fact it's a Poppy Ahri fighting him, it doesn't matter. She gives a very much like crutch in case you make a mistake when you're in the dragon form.
Loftian seems to just be setting up camp in the top side, where he keeps building his towers, wants to rebuild his empire, starting from the top lane. Johnny Recco clearing out a few wards, trying to have some recon in his jungle, wanting to provide vision for his team, or at least just deny vision away from Invul. And I'm not expecting massive amounts of action until the next dragon in 1 minute 30.
Yeah, and I mean, Invul, they don't really want to fight anywhere right now. There's no need for them to fight. No need for them to push any advantage that they've gained. The game's close, but this dragon, they need to claim it. They want to claim it. If they claim it, they stamp the game. They say to Espergærde, next dragon, you have to come. You have to come and fight us, and then it puts Espergærde on a timer. Like, it's a very big dragon. Invul can choose to give up this one, but then obviously the next dragon will be, both teams probably want to fight it. It's one of those where you, depending on what you're doing, as Chillinaire on the Jinx now, I think he's almost at 2 items. He's not had a good game.
We're seeing most people begin to reach that 2-item mark. Looks like it's going to be a Rabadon's Death Cap second item here for Loftish. Thomas Go looking for the dashing forward, but his hand shook backwards. Marcusa pinpoint accuracy on the Renata as Ronaldo's trying to eat Kennen for dinner.
Ooh, Slice almost getting caught there as well.
Yeah.
But Lofty's TP'd into the boss side.
Oh, and look at the deep position that Ronaldo's managed to find by the
He did it again though. He dragon formed before the fight.
Yeah. I mean, as you do start to gain levels on the Shyvana,
oh,
it does
there's
reach
a cannon flank.
Oh, the flank comes through. We haven't quite seen the bullet time yet. Hostile takeover is going to whistle through. Catches onto Thomas Go. Here comes the slicing maelstrom, though. It is big, catching onto 3. The bailout keeps Slice alive. Can he get a kill? No. Shut down by the Poppy. It's 3 for Espergærde. Make that 4. No. Marcusa's stopwatch going to keep him alive. Lunar doing what he can. But it's going to be a clean ace. 5-4-0 for the side of Espergærde main. And could that be Baron?
Their health bars, they should be completely fine. But yeah, dragon forming before the fight again.
I honestly don't think the dragon forming is the problem there. I think the Kennen flank.
No, the whole point is that he dragon formed to chunk Kennen out, to force Kennen to go away, to then TP back into the fight, which is fine. But you haven't dotted your I's yet. You've got a ward sitting right below you, and it's a Kennen. And the Kennen just finds the flank. And the Kennen finds the flank, turns the fight. Now, the fight was a very close one. There's a lot of low health bars. It's just very muddled because of the Kennen flank. Because Loftish immediately just tried to get out to get to a safe spot on an angle. Lonar's flashed over, and the bullet time is a bit wayward into nowhere. It's one of those, but they're still going to get the Drake from this. So
yeah, in all of this chaos, in all of this chaos, the dragon wasn't taken. Espergærde ran straight for the Baron, and that has allowed Invul to claim their 3rd Drake.
That means Invul needs to chill out, wait for this next Drake.
Vision. Stunned up. Yeah, he should be able to walk his way out of this.
They need to just turtle up for the next few minutes. They have wave clear. They should be completely fine with just turtling. They might have to concede some of their inner towers, like this tier 2 in mid lane. They might just have to concede.
And top lane, yeah.
Just due to the help.
Are they going to have to defend this inhib tower? Slice charmed up big. Bullet time to clear out the wave, though. From Lunar. And Johnny Recco is getting chunked out.
Oh, Johnny Recco!
Heartbreaker diving in. There is the Kennen. Knocked away by Loftish, though the hostile takeover is not going to find too much, but it is going to be another kill onto Fatala. And is that 2 for 2? 2 for 2 in the defense, and the tower stayed alive, right?
It's a 2 for 2 in the defense in a 4v5 fight, and you're probably going to get this tier 2 bot lane. I think that's a good trade for Invul.
It's one of those. You have to think about it with the logic. If you are behind, a slightly even trade is a win. If you're behind, if you get the time to fail.
You gave 2 towers up. You take 2 for 2 in a fight, and you gain a tower. You're kind of chilling. Loftish could have been a bit better with the shuffle to get the Kennen out. But the Kennen did. I believe the Kennen did flash in, so it was a little bit of a unlucky one. But yeah, I mean, you can see Espergærde are trying to push it a bit too much than they need to. See, Chillinaire was taking a lot of poke damage, and I believe Johnny Recco also took quite a bit of poke damage. Just unnecessary, really.
Yeah, the bullet time there from Lunar was really nice. It cleared out the majority of the wave, but it also trapped Johnny Recco inside of the Lotus base. He wasn't willing to walk through the bullet time to try and escape.
But yeah, this gold is 3k. Oh, I think it's 2.5 actually. And 1.5 of that is straight from the Baron. Is it, or maybe is it 2 from the Baron? Was it 1.5?
I think it's 1.5. I think it's 1.5.
It's 1.5, right? Yeah. But yeah, 1.5k comes straight from the Baron. So the goal, like, you're kind of fine if you're Invul. They haven't been able to push it too hard. They've started claiming these towers themselves, but you got the towers in reply earlier, so you're kind of fine.
Yeah, there's also a potential Dragon Soul on the table for Invul Lotus in 2 minutes 15.
Yeah, they just need to get as much gold as possible in these next 2 minutes. Loftition also wants to ding level 16 as well. They need to pick up some pivotal items, but one thing they need to look at is Chillinair 3-item Jinx.
Yeah, this is where the Jinx starts to get very scary, especially with the Lulu sitting and backing her up. And you were touching on earlier, actually, Chillinair, and how he wasn't having the best of games. That has seemed to have been shaken off, and he's starting to get into a position.
It wasn't like himself wasn't having the best game. He just wasn't having a good laning phase because he was getting bullied, and he wasn't really getting the support he needed. And then later on, he does get picked before that Drake fight, which kind of an unnecessary pick. But then they get that fight, and he picks up, I think it was a triple kill in the end, in the Ace fight, which then propels him back into this game. And he also has just picked up a stopwatch as well. There's the Zhonya's on the Kennen and Thomas Go on the Ahri. On the other side, we've got a stopwatch for Slice, but nothing else. A used one for Lofty. He's not gonna go into the Zhonya's because he sees that there's a lot of AP damage coming at his face. As Ronaldo.
Yeah, got that verdant barrier. Ronaldo diving forward again onto Fatala 50 seconds before the dragon spawns.
If you're smart here from Invul, you could actually give this Drake up. Like I was saying, they have to come and fight this because it's a soul. So they have to
Invul do not have to commit for this dragon.
Invul can take as much as they want. They can try forcing something. They have the wave players on.
Lunar. Lovely cleanse there as the stun comes through, which is going to buy Slice and Ronaldo a lot of time here on the top side. Fatala, Zhonya's Hourglass comes through. Heartbreaker. The Slice is not tanking the turret. Can he get the transform? Yeah, okay. This Thomas Go diving forward bailout comes through. But,
Lulu.
Zhonya's Hourglass coming in so clutch to prevent the bailout revive there on to Slice. That could have been catastrophic for Espergærde's hopes in this game if Thomas Go had fallen there and Slice had been able to get the revive through.
But I mean, if they recall, Ronaldo's just going to shove this in. He knows they're going to the Drake. Thomas Go has to be the one to reply. Loftition and Lana are just going to free farm the waves. I mean, it buys Invul so much time.
Look at that gold lead. Look at how much it's closed up.
I mean, it's actually the same still, I think.
It was 2.5. It's now 1,400.
Oh yeah, I can't do maths in my head, lol. And
don't do maths live, man.
Yeah.
Fine.
But yeah, I mean, Invul, that was a smart play. They did push it quite hard. Slice did go a bit sicko mode with it. He did time 2 things wrong. He tried to get the Heartbreaker first time, timing with the stopwatch ending, missed. And then tried to get the next one, unlucky with the next one with the stopwatch reply. But those Zhonya's coming in clutch for Espergærde.
Yeah, but we are seeing now 3 items pretty much completed across the board. Obviously, not for the supports, but everyone else pretty much reaching 3 items. I think Slice, the only one not there yet.
Yeah, the Hex Drinker is fine.
Yeah, Hex Drinker is basically a full item, let's be honest.
Also, a pot picked up by Lana, so he's considering this next fight to be the fight.
Interesting. That is very interesting. Will that fight be around this Baron, or will it be over the Ocean Drake in 3 minutes? As we're going to see Loftition getting engaged on. Sure, the Emperor's Divide comes through, but the Banshee's Veil is gone. Loftition 1 versus 4, and he is no longer for this world. Back to the tomb for the Emperor. And
that's very quick from Espergærde. They had to do that quickly because they could see Ronaldo pushing this. Is it gonna go straight for the Baron?
Tala has gone back to try and deal with Ronaldo, but this wave is pretty huge, and Shyvana
It's gonna be Kennen all
will
down.
pull turrets very fast. That's no slicing Maelstrom. It has cleared out the wave, but now the Dragon's Descent is going to come through.
And they're on the Baron.
In trouble, yeah. Espergærde trying to find the Baron. Invul going to be able to push them off this, I would imagine.
Invul have pushed them off.
And the hostile
And they're gonna get the inhib.
They're going to get an inhibitor.
Oh, what a play! What a play!
Word.
You turn a...
And mid lane outer. So this is now obviously a clearly winning play, because what did Espergærde get for this?
Kill on Lofty, which I think is an absolute win. To be fair, a lot of us want to do that. But no, that play itself, I like the initial intent from Espergærde. They did it quick. They killed him quickly.
No, it was very decisive.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
they got him done, but it wasn't just decisive. It was the speed at which they did it. Like they killed him was quick. So then they can say, okay, one of you go back, cover that bot lane because he hadn't taken the tower yet, and we're gonna start the Baron. Now the problem is, you sent the Kennen back and you kept Thomas go. Now Thomas go didn't have TP, which okay, fair. Kennen can wave clear it, but he now uses his slicing Maelstrom. They then don't have the slicing Maelstrom to fight at the Baron.
And now we're going to see it again as the Dragon's Descent has come through.
Ronaldo's so mad, man.
Loving this top lane matchup now. for Tala in trouble.
Oh, Solo Bolo!
Dragons are fatal, ladies and gentlemen. No. Flashing away, will have the stun coming back up. The Dragon's Breath. Ronaldo wants this.
No, kill it, yes!
Okay, he does get it. And whilst all of this chaos is unfolding, the Baron is being taken by Invul. Hostile takeover goes through, finds the Jinx. Baron is claimed by Invul, and now I think it is a case of everybody for themselves. Try and get yourselves away, and it looks like Invul have secured 3 Baron buffs.
Lofty is playing...
Oh, Lofty's playing with fire.
I mean, he can't get out, I don't think. He has to fight.
Yeah, Lofty's dead. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh, that was a Nexus turret just went down.
Yeah, because the wave was pushing in the bot side as Thomas Go just TP'd up. So the wave landed and no one was back there to catch it. But I mean, okay, they've got Baron on 2 members, and 2 of the members you don't really want Baron on. You want on one of your laners. And you're going to be a little bit late for this dragon setup. You're going to have TPs on your 2 solo laners. You also have that huge wave pushing bot side. You actually have a massive wave pushing top side as well. I believe maybe against the tower. Thomas Co is not going to get this. I think it's
quite well.
Oh, it's going to get the tower top! They got the tower top! And yeah, Espergærde just allowing towers to fall kind of freely. Yeah. Now
and in Ronaldo teleporting to the top lane.
This guy does not want to team fight.
He wants to keep the Kennen away. That's more the plan. I don't think it's that.
Yeah,
Ronaldo
because now the problem is, if the Kennen TPs, Ronaldo ends.
Yes. If the Kennen doesn't TP, Invul likely have a good team fight. Thomas Go, exhausted, diving forward on to Marcusa. Hostile takeover is available, not yet thrown down. Now it is going to come through, and the bailout not going to be able to save Marcusa's life. The Keeper's Verdict, flinging Lunar out of the fight, and Slice
this is so
surviving
messy.
on a sliver. The Super Mega Death Rocket not going to pick that one up. Meanwhile, Fatala knows, man. Fatala knows he can't do anything about this. Slicing Maelstrom's going to come through.
I think he's going to die, though.
But it's not enough. Oh my word. Oh, Slice. Finds Kralix. Can he blow the Lulu up? Is going to find one.
Flashes to get
for the transform. Lunar is in the area.
Oh, wait a minute.
Here. They find on Shillinari.
They're stalling. They're going to back off.
This is going to be game. Loftishan and Ronaldo. Thomas Go on his own in the base. Can't quite find the kills. Loftishan going to pick that one up.
What is this team?
What has just happened? Invul Lotus 1-0 up in this series.
What
just happened?